Welcome to Nightlight. Step away from the mainstream and gather around as we enlighten the world and our realities and travel this cosmic journey we call life. Join us as we share with you and provide that beacon that can guide us all to a better way. Explore with us as we examine a metaphysical montage of spiritual insights, covering everything from the mundane to the magical, UFOs to unicorns, and everything in between. This is a time of awakening, of sharing and evolving, of spreading our wings and soaring on the cosmic breath of creation. Come and join with other light-minded spirits as we weave our lights together to seek understanding, enlightenment, and with a little luck, some wisdom. This is Nightlight, a reminder that you are never alone.
Welcome to Nightlight, everybody. I'm so glad you could join us. It's sort of one of those times where everything is confusing and everything is chaotic and everything is going in circles. So I'm not surprised if all of you aren't feeling a little bit out of balance, I guess is the best way to put it. Just to do some shameless promotion before we get going on the readings. We've done some work on our website and made some changes. We have, because we've got over 1,100 shows up there, we put it in the categories so that it would be easier for you to find information if you were looking for something specific. And there are two new playlists. One of them is remote viewing, and it has and will have remote viewing meditations that I've done with groups of people over time, and the meditation is there, so you can go right along with us and do the remote viewing with those particular sites that we visited. We've done 12. We don't have all 12 of them up yet, but then we're going to be doing 12 more. So if you want to be in on the remote viewing aspect here, check out the website, barbaradulong.com, and go to the YouTube channel and look for the playlist there, or just go to the YouTube channel and look for the playlist. It's on my YouTube channel. It's really been, while it's been a chaotic time, it's a time in which it feels as though there are changes going on all over the place with everyone, and it's a wonderful time to be creative, to move in new directions, to start new projects. And even though it's crazy time, that energy is an excitement that stirs creativity and opens us to portals of all sorts of inspiration and insight and magic. So it's really, it's very, very, very exciting. I think that what we're going through here is, and we are going from summer into fall. So we have the season shift. We've had the equinox. And it feels almost as though everything is opening up for us in many different directions. So don't get upset by things. Allow it to stir your creativity and move you in new directions, to sort of take your attention away from the normal mundane things that we get stuck with all the time, and look for magic and excitement and celestial stuff that's also going on, and you have access to if you just focus in that direction. Do the things you have to do, for heaven's sakes. Make sure you keep a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and food in your stomach. But at the same time, understand that this is a wonderful time to stretch, to expand yourself, to be more creative and have a better connection with the Creator. So it's a very exciting time. I would absolutely even though you may be going crazy, and I'm right in that boat with you. But at the same time, it's a time to start manifesting new stuff, allowing your energy to just, get new stuff out there and grow and stretch and go beyond what you thought were your limits. So it's a cool time. Do check out the website and do check out the new playlists because they're kind of exciting. The other one that we're doing is we have mystical musings, which are very short videos, but they have really heavy duty, great stuff in them. So check those out too. They're only sometimes 3 minutes or 2 minutes, and some of them are even less than a minute. But they're great insights and things that you can look at and chew on and apply to your life. And I forget whose idea it was, but I think it may have been Gregg's. I'll take partial credit because I did them. But it's kind of like, again, something new that we did, something exciting that is out there. And the more you get doing new things, the more you bring new things into your venue, the more you have that's available to you to work with. So don't get bogged down. Get enlightened and lighten up. I should needlepoint that someplace. Okay, Gregg, we've got some people here that want reading.
We do. We have a few people in. First up is Lisa C, and she just asked for a reading.
That's an easy one.
Just like a reading request.
Okay, Lisa.
Double smileys.
It's and by the way, if you guys want to be reminded when we're going to be doing these shows, if you sign up for our circle on barbaradulong.com, we do try to send out notices when we're going to do the reading shows. So far, we're planning on doing them the second and the fourth Thursday of the month. And so far, we've been pretty good. So we are going to continue for at least another month. So, Lisa, this is an exciting time for you, this next 12-month period, because it does feel as though you're tapping into your intuition, you're tapping into your insight, you're becoming more and more and more aware of the gifts that you carry within. And for the month of October, I'm going to skip right to October because we're almost done with September. It's a time as you get into October, there's a time where you're opening yourself up to understanding a lot of the things that have gone on in your life and letting go of things that you've carried that have given you heaviness, that have made you possibly even you've held on over long to some problems that you had in the past that no longer apply to your future. And so it's kind of a letting go time. Don't slam doors. Don't say anything to anyone. Just move on. Stop perseverating on things that have happened in the past, because in some ways, if you're perseverating on them, you create a magnet that draws similar situations to you, and you sure as heck don't want to do that. So that as you get into October, it's a time of letting go, of understanding that some situations taught you lessons that were very valuable to you. You don't write thank yous, and understand that you can now move forward and lighten yourself a little bit, because it does feel as though you've been feeling kind of weighted down by some of the past things that have gone on. And it does feel as though it's time for you to understand that there are new beginnings, there are fresh changes, there are new things coming into your life. As you hit November, there's a unity of focus. You're understanding that you need to do things for yourself instead of other people. I'm not saying be selfish, but I am saying balance your time. You've been a giver to other people over and beyond what is appropriate. There hasn't been a balance here. You have to take care of yourself first, because if you take care of yourself first, then the overflow for what you're doing for yourself does hit other people, and that gives a better quality of you to other people as well. So that there's a pulling together in the November timeframe, especially, of understanding you need a better balance in your life. And in getting that better balance, you're going to be able to help other people even more. As you hit the December timeframe, you're evolving into new understanding of this and other directions that you might be going. It feels as though you're considering making some changes in your life, and I think it's maybe time that you should make some changes, not major ones, and for heaven's sakes, don't quit your day job, but do look around for something that might be more of a challenge to you, more of a position that will enable you to grow and stretch and go beyond what you have, your limits already. As you get into the January timeframe, there's the sense here of you're healing yourself, and it's really kind of interesting. There's healing going on here. You're letting go of past grudges, I guess is the best way to put it. And it does feel as though physically you feel lighter. You feel as though, and I'm not talking weight here, I'm talking emotions. I feel a greater lightness to you. And then as you hit the February timeframe, you have a sense here of freedom, of being able to move in new directions and get involved in things that you've always wanted to, but you've never quite done before. There's, how do I put this? There's no limit to what you can do except what you prevent yourself from doing. Certain things are not logical, but as far as stretching yourself into new beginnings, Grandma Moses didn't start painting till she was almost 90, and look what she did. I mean, there are many people out there that didn't even, and I don't feel you that old, but what I'm saying is don't let anything hold you back. Legally, maybe, but don't let anything hold you back. As you hit the March time frame, there's laughter, joy, and celebration here. It feels as though you are moving into great excitement. There's excitement here. There are parties here. There's gatherings here. It's almost like you're celebrating something up. You're celebrating something that you've completed inside of yourself. So you're giving yourself a celebration, and it really is. There's a sense of laughter here, and you have a beautiful laugh. And the more you laugh, the more you smile, the more you radiate that beautiful spiritual energy you have inside you, and the more you draw to yourself people who are more your kind of people than you have before. As you hit the April timeframe, there's a sense here of looking at new projects, and you're setting things up. You're putting things in motion. You're allowing yourself to plan ahead, and you're looking almost a year ahead, but what you're doing here is you're setting yourself up for success on many different new exciting levels. As you hit the May timeframe, here you're birthing a new aspect of yourself. You're coming out of a shell, so to speak, and you're allowing yourself to do things creatively that you never thought you had it in you. And so it's really exciting. It's sort of like, I'm not saying I'm going to give you an example that is just an example. It's sort of like you've always wanted to paint, but you didn't think you had any talent. And the reality is, so long as you're getting joy from it, then you've got plenty of talent. So it's a matter of don't ever put yourself down. Try everything legally, and if it doesn't fit, then you just don't put it in your closet. As you hit June, there's a sense here of transmuting energy into new changes and directions. It feels like you've been putting a lot of effort into a couple of projects that you're the only one putting effort into. I would suggest in the June timeframe, if you find that you are the only one that is participating in a relationship, a friendship, a project of any sort, if you're the only one that's doing the work, walk away. Because in what I'm seeing here, you have many different things you're involved in where you're the impetus, you're the one that's putting the effort forth, and nobody else is doing any of the work. And that's not appropriate. You deserve to get the credit for what you do. Again, don't quit your day job. Because you think about that, it appears often. As you hit the July timeframe, here's where you're opening up more spiritually. You're opening up more to greater understanding of your talents, your gifts, your wisdoms, and you're talking them. or writing them down. I know you're expressing them in some form. You tend to hold things closely and tight into yourself. So this may just be journaling, and journaling is a great idea. As you hit August, there's an element of healing energy here. There's healing energy on two different levels here. So it does feel as though you have some issues that are going to go away. You have some things that once gave you problems that are no longer going to give you problems. And this is an emotional healing, not necessarily a physical, but emotion does transfer into physical anyhow. And as you hit next September, there is the element of commitment to new directions, new people, new insights, and a new you. Looks like a very interesting time. There we go, Greg.
Okay. Very good. All right, so we saw her message. If that's not the whole truth, I don't know what it is. All right, next up is Donna C. And Donna just says, reading.
Okay. Well, that doesn't limit me, does it? I think it's, as I'm putting these cards, I don't want to let people know that this is all channeled. It's done with the Cosmic Deck of Initiation. So all I have to do really is to tune into the card that's there, and I spew. That's not a pretty word, but what comes to me is tuned into your energy, so that I get the information from your energetic field to give you what spirit is trying to get to you, that possibly you aren't paying attention to. Lots of times we don't pay attention to the little hints that the universe gives us. And when we don't do that, we miss messages that can really change the direction of our lives. So by getting a reading like this, where there's no input from you, which is the best way to do a reading. I did psychic fairs for a long time, and psychics at psychic fairs are going into your energy field and pulling out what you want to hear for the most part. So this is a different kind of energy because you have no input, which is, it doesn't limit me you're not asking specific questions, which doesn't limit me. So the cool thing is, Donna, you're at a time here where you're working very hard to make changes in your life. And it does feel as though you are a hard worker. You put your head down and you plow ahead. And you're the kind of worker everybody wants to have because you really don't give up. You always are working as hard as you can, even above and beyond the call of duty. You are one who will put everything you have and then some into any project that you're involved in or job that you're involved in. Let's go to October, and it does feel as though October it's a time in which there's a tremendous amount of compassion within you that you're sharing with other people. Please, when you do work with people, counsel people, it feels like people drop their problems in your lap. And when you do counsel people, when you do try to help people, make sure that on some level you are not going from your own physical energy, but rather your spiritual energy, which is limitless. Physical energy has its limits, but if you're channeling universal energy, if you're channeling spirit, there is absolutely no end to the kind of energy that you can put into things. You give to other people to an extent where you're exhausted within yourself, and that means you're using your physical energy. So before you get too far into trying to help someone out, step back and retune yourself and ask to be given the energy that is appropriate for that person, the information that is appropriate for that person. And do understand that even though I know people do dump their problems in your lap, giving information from your experience doesn't help them any. The best thing you can do when someone calls you or asks for help or asks for information or whatever is to really say, I believe in you and I know you will do the right thing in the right time, in the right way. Because whatever difficulties they're going through, they have to find the solutions within themselves. If you give them what worked for you, they'll be following on your pathway, which won't help them at all. So make sure that the kindness you give and the caring you give is supportive of them finding the directions they need to find. It's a hard lesson to learn because you are so compassionate. You are so you're an empath, so that you do feel what's going on, but only from your perspective. So do understand that giving them support to find it themselves is the kindest, most spiritual thing you can do for them. As you hit the November timeframe, there's a sense here of you're beginning to awaken to truth that has been around you and within you for a very long time, but you haven't paid attention to. It's almost like you're looking at truth about several situations in your life. And once you understand what is actually truth, you can then make changes and choices that are wiser for you instead of waiting for someone to change. And it feels as though there are some situations that you're just hoping will change. And what you see is what you get. So act accordingly. Finding truth in situations can be at first upsetting, but then can be invigorating, and thrilling, and exciting once you realize the room you've made for yourself. As you get into the December, as you get into the December timeframe, you're going to find that that there is a great deal of abundance coming your way. Abundance on many different levels. So it's going to be very exciting for you. It feels like some of this is actually monetary. I don't know that all of it is. All of it isn't. But you're going to have abundance coming your way. People giving you gifts you don't expect. Doors opening where you didn't know there were. It's going to be an exciting time for you because you're expanding yourself. You're feeling the growth that is going on inside of you, and sometimes you just don't know where to put the energy. Get creative. The more creative you are, the more you'll grow, the greater the abundance. Creativity is probably the biggest thing I could preach to everybody. If things aren't going well for you, get creative. If you're at a stopping place or hitting a brick wall, get creative. The more creative you are, the easier it is for you to function and flow your way through this reality. As you hit January, this is a time of new beginnings. This is a time where you're putting your house in order. This deals mostly with your emotionality, but it also deals with some areas of your living situation. I suspect you have more than one catch-all drawer, and you probably have a closet that needs to be gone through. So do pay attention to those things and sort of declutter to a certain extent, but neaten up too, because it feels as though there's new stuff coming, and you're going to want to make room for that as you hit February. There's a sense here of you're pulling a lot of your talents and gifts together and creating projects that are new and unique and unusual for you. That's winter time, but depending on where you are, winter time isn't the kind of time that you sit by that fire and eat bonbons. It does sound good though, doesn't it? It does feel as though there's a lot of reading, there's a lot of self-education going on here. You're stretching yourself in new directions, which is great because the day we stop learning, the day is the day there's no point to anything, and there's always stuff out there to learn and get excited over. As you hit the March timeframe, here's where you need to take care of yourself. Here's where come on, I don't know, pedicures, massages, whatever floats your boat as far as being kind to yourself and moving in new directions. This is a you time. This is a time where you need to step back and even take your calendar and cross out days here and there where you can just do what you want to do. Not laundry, not cleaning, not whatever, but just do something for you, whether it is reading a book or taking a nap or watching a sunset or going for a walk in the woods, whatever. It's time for you to take care of you. As you hit the April timeframe, here's where there's like two projects that are ongoing, and it feels like you have two different areas that you are addressing projects in. It's like two different groups of people, and and when you have two groups of people like you do here, it's not a good idea to try to mix them. Quite often with situations like this, groups are unique unto themselves, and if you try to combine them, disaster could hit. I speak from experience here. So do understand that two groups, two projects, two areas of you're investing your time and energy in look quite profound, actually. As you hit the May timeframe, here's where there's a good flow of energy. Here's where it feels like home is a focus for you at this point in time, and it feels like you're moving at making changes within your living situation. Whether it's, I don't feel that there's any damage, but it does feel like there may be stretching, additions, things like that. And it feels like your home is a source of peace and tranquility for you. So even if you make a huge mess, it feels good. That's really cool. As you hit June, there's a sense here of again hitting the books, getting back to the books. Actually, it feels like you're doing a lot of research, reading, and when I say back to the books, you got to understand I'm old school, so it could be Kindles and it could be online research and stuff like that. But there's a sense here of needing to stretch yourself, educate yourself, move in new directions. And as you hit July, here's where the spotlight falls on you. It feels as though you've been keeping a lot of stuff that you're doing in the shadows and not sharing it with a lot of people. And it does feel like the spotlight does fall on you in the July timeframe, as though you are the center of attention. And people are paying a lot more attention to what you're saying and how you're saying it. It looks like a very exciting time for you. As you hit August, there's a sense here of, gosh, this is universal spirituality. So it does indicate that on a spiritual level, you're making changes, you're making shifts, you're opening up to new aspects within yourself, and you're touching into portals that take you into new dimensions and new insights as to how to approach reality and to live your life and to understand that you are definitely a spirit on a human journey, not the other way around, so that you're expanding your understanding of your purpose of life and the direction that you're going in. And as you hit next year in September, this is a very exciting time next September. And it feels as though everything you send out returns to you greatly magnified, whether it is sharing yourself and your time with other people, whether it is sending out requests for help or trying to solicit stuff. Whatever you send out in September of next year will return to you greatly magnified. So check that out, just circle that on your calendar for next year, because this is a time where you want to be reaching out and opening yourself up for other people to come in and share with your energetic field. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Cool stuff.
All right, Lisa made a comment. She was first reading. It sure is, and has been a very interesting time. Thank you so much. I just wanted to bring that in. And next up is Adam. Adam Gal. And Adam says, reading.
Hey, Adam.
You know Adam.
I do. Cool. All righty. Every now and then there's a name that I recognize. I guess you've been doing this for 50 years. Sooner or later, just about everybody steps through the door at one point or another. Okay, let's see here. Adam, this is a time of balancing. This is a time in which this next 12 months is a time in which you're going to be balancing all aspects of your life. You tend to every now and then get preoccupied and go pour everything in one direction, and you take the balance out of your life. And when you do that, things slow down for you. It feels to me as though there's a great intensity here. And when I'm looking at the central card, which is the Libra card, this is my card for justice and balance, so that within your life, there are going to be many areas over the next 12 months in which balance is going to finally be achieved. It's achieved basically by allowing it to happen instead of trying to make it happen. I know I like to help it along every now and then myself, but I usually get in the way. So, best advice here with these cards is to allow the balance to happen and then act accordingly. It feels as though as we move into the month of October is really fabulous because it has the threshold card. And I got to show the threshold card because this is the very last card that I painted when I was painting the cards. This is the last mandala that I ever painted. And it signifies a passage into a new level, a new understanding, it's crossing a threshold into new levels of understanding of this and other dimensions, so that you're getting a new perspective as to life as we know it. And it's a very exciting card in that it takes you into levels of understanding and communication and insights that are terrific. There aren't a lot of people you can share it with, and that's the frustrating part. But it is a whole new view and perception as to life as we know it. This planet, this species, this universe, the cosmos. So it's going to be a very exciting time. There's writing here. There's sharing insight. There's stretching into yourself and finding that there's more magic in you than you ever anticipated. And that's a cool thing to happen. It doesn't happen 100% of the time, but every now and then you get views, you get insights, you get hints. And if you are writing them down, it anchors that connection you have to spirit. It anchors that connection into the physical reality. And you anchor it by writing things down, not on the computer, but in longhand on a piece of paper. I don't care where you write it. Just create the anchor. And the stronger that anchor is, the more information that'll be coming through to you. As you hit the November timeframe, this is where it almost feels as though there is you will feel that there is a presence. There are presence or energies that are around you that are helping you into and through some unusual times. It depends on your belief system. Some would call them guardian angels. I call them spiritual inspirations. And what's happening here is that you have gotten yourself to a place where at certain times you have great clarity and you're able to bring insight and wisdom through that clarity and apply it to your physical reality. It's not 100% of the time because then you'd be unbearable. But these spurts, these inspirations, this clarity that comes through to you in the November timeframe is going to be very, very exciting to you. As you hit the December timeframe, here's where creativity comes in here. A lot of creativity, a lot of talking to groups of people, a lot of talking to new people coming into your life. It feels as though you are spreading yourself out here on a creative level that is very, very exciting. New projects, new directions, new insights. I want to say writing, but that's something that you do anyhow. But this goes above and beyond that, so that there are creative projects that you haven't played with before that are coming to the fore that you're going to start to be working on and bringing into reality. As you hit the January timeframe, it feels as though there is a sense of body, mind, spirit coming together in a way they never have been before. You are waking up to a new level of consciousness that you have within you, that all of us have, but not all of us are able to touch into. And it does feel as though that portal is opening up to you. So it will give you insight and wisdom into, excuse me, not this, but other lifetimes and other dimensions. It looks really fascinating. And again, something you want to anchor into this reality so you can pull on it as much as possible. As you hit the February timeframe, here's where it's really kind of interesting. You have this element of kind of playing I doubt it with yourself on some of the projects that you're involved in. And so what you've got going on here is, I mean, the thing I have to tell you with this card is the only thing standing in your way is you. But I can give you, I will give you a time frame where this playing of I doubt it with you is going to be there, and then the rest of the month is free. It's going to be between the first and the 10th of the month in February. That's where you're going to step back in a couple of areas and say, wait a minute, is this really the way I want to go, or where I want to go, or whatever? I would suggest in that first 10 days, no major decisions should be made. Once you get to the 11th and on, you're fine, you're good to go. But the first 10 days are going to be a little bit of, I don't know, maybe I should wait, or maybe I should do something different. So, if I was talking to a woman, I'd say just pull the covers over your head and don't get out of bed. But with a guy, I guess I could say that too, but I don't think that's possible. But just make sure that no major choices or decisions are made in the first 10 days. As you get into the March timeframe, we've got two projects that look like they're taking off on you. These both look as though they are going to be financially supportive of you. Do understand that that creativity is wonderful, but once you have financial support from it, you have to find other creative endeavors to get going that will fuel your spiritual journey. What's really cool is I've always tried to do projects that I wasn't really good at, but I enjoyed doing, so that I knew I was never going to make money on them. So that they're my go-to. I need to be creative. Let me do some of this. A couple of things are still in the closet, but there are two projects here that are going to be taking off. Make sure you have a balance in your life. Again, that element of balance. If you don't have the balance, things will kind of spiral out of control for a while, and then you'll bring yourself back to center. Excuse me. April has new balance in your life. It does feel as though there are changes that you are making, that you are balancing your time and your efforts and your energies and your creative endeavors, and things are flowing just beautifully. The element of balance is important to you here for many different reasons, because you've got so many projects going on. You want to make sure that some of those projects are taking care of you and what you need to do for you, and not the projects that are going to be making money, because there are a lot of them here. As you hit the May timeframe, new beginnings, fresh starts. There may well be a move of some sort here. I don't know if it's a professional move or a physical move. Well, let me see. It's definitely a move. This looks like it's a move of home. So that you may either get another place, on top of where you are now, or you may have another place that you work from but there's definitely a move of some sort here. As you hit the June timeframe, lots of energy going in lots of different directions. My best advice here in the June timeframe is take your vitamins. You're going to be committing yourself to a lot of projects that you never thought you would commit to, and it's going to stretch you energetically. You're fully capable of doing it, but make sure that you are fueling yourself with creative energy. Otherwise, you will exhaust yourself. It does feel as though over this entire year, you really, it feels like nighttime is your most creative time, where the real heavy duty stuff is, and that sleeping for, I feel that you're one of those that suffers from the 3 a.m. get up and do something club. It's a big club. So do pay attention to getting at least 4 hours, maybe 5 a night. As you hit the July timeframe, this is an interesting time. You have the free will to make some changes in your life. Do understand that you have the freedom to make those choices, but the consequences are what you're going to pay for. So be very careful about things that you choose to do spontaneously in the month of July, because they may have consequences you hadn't thought of. So step back and don't commit yourself to anything that is going to be lengthy, because it does feel here is that because you have the free will, because you can do what you do, and sometimes that isn't always wise. Sometimes it is. August has magic and miracles, expecting the unexpected. The more you work with your creativity, the more you put your energy out there, the greater the magic will happen in your life. And magic is going to be happening. There is no doubt about it. And as you hit the September timeframe next year, you've got the law of karma, which means that a lot of the energy that you put out there and this lifetime are going to be you're going to be getting karmic gifts back there. It's all positive. I don't see any major negative anything here. But do remember, as you get gifts that you don't expect, pay it forward in another direction. Oftentimes, if somebody gives me something that's just so sweet and wonderful, I realize that I need to do that to somebody else too, not to the person that gave me it, because then you create a cycle that's ridiculous. But do understand that there is that element of paying it forward, gifting it where it's not expected, doing things that are kind and wonderful to other people that they don't expect. I love going to the grocery store and seeing a single lady doing shopping and telling her how pretty she looks. And you can feel the glow that you ignite just by telling somebody something like that. It's important to remember that we are a member of this community of humanity, and kindness to one is kindness to all in many ways. Okay, there you go. Any questions? You know where I am.
Okay. Lisa commented again. I guess Lisa and Donna know each other. She said, "Thank you, Barbara. Donna's reading made so much sense. It was so refreshing."
Oh, cool.
Yeah, kind of interesting. All right, next up is Bryn Dorham. And Bryn says, "I would like a general reading, please. Thank you."
We know him too.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Gregg is a newbie on free readings, so he hasn't been around for as many of them as some of you have been.
I'm recognizing some of the names, though.
He'll get to know you guys, not to worry.
I think Adam was a guest, or you were a guest on his show, or you were, right?
Who? What?
Adam, wasn't you were a guest on his show, or he was a guest on your show, I think?
Something like that. Yeah.
Once.
I'd have to check my records. But I do know I know him. Okay. Hi, Bryn. Okay, this is going to be, let's see. There's a lot of cool stuff here. There's healing energy that's going to flow throughout the whole next 12 months. So it does feel as though you are letting go of stuff that you don't need to hold on to any longer. Some of this is emotional, some of it is intellectual, some of it is physical. So that you are, I see you as clearing out and clearing things and allowing things to sort of flow to a higher degree than you have before. It's always good advice for anybody, actually, but it does appear here in the cards. It seems to me as though there is a sense here of, as we hit October, of you going back to school, and don't panic, not real, but you're in a place here where you're learning new things, new directions. You're learning new aspects of yourself. So in many ways, you are going back to school, but it's not, you're not going to get a certificate. It's learning and growing and expanding your own self, the core of who you are. And it's also a time where you are opening yourself up to possibilities and potentialities that you weren't opening yourself up to before the month of October. As you get into the November timeframe, you're evolving into new understanding of yourself. This is a time frame here where you're getting to understand what's happened to you in the past and how it has made you a better person. No matter what the situation was, you have gained great wisdom, insight, and sensitivity from every situation you've had. So you're evolving into a new level of consciousness that is opening you up to the ability to stretch and move in new directions within yourself. As you get into the December timeframe, there's a new flow of continuity here. So the pace of life is picking up. God forbid. But it is. Things are happening faster for you. You're not having to wait so long to get results from actions taken. And it does feel as though you are moving in new directions of change and expansion and growth. And as you get into, and this is interesting. As you get into the month of January, you have compensation for work that you've done coming into you. And you've also got the element here of being compensated for I don't want to say, not for work that you've done, but for kindness that you've given, for things that you've shared, for compassionate things that you've done that you didn't expect anything back for. And it feels as though there is a sense of here, things opening up for you on many different levels. I see emotional stuff opening up. I see spiritual stuff opening up, and I see professional stuff opening up. I can't remember the directions that you've been going in the past, but I do know that your direction is changing. But don't quit your job. I say that a lot, and I really mean it. But it does feel to me as though something new is coming into your field of reference. And so you're going to be moving into, it's almost like a promotion of some sort or a new aspect or area of life that you're going to be expanding into as you hit the February timeframe. Here we've got the initiation card, and that does indicate that a lot of your growth is in and of a spiritual nature. I feel strongly that you're going to be looking into more spiritual directions and aspects of life than you have in the past. You're not going to be a fanatic. You're going to not going to put, the white sheet on and go to the mountaintop and wait for the mothership. But it does feel here as though spirituality takes on a far greater part of your life. You're seeing spiritual insights and wisdoms coming into you that you weren't noticing before. You're finding situations that were learning situations have a greater spiritual in-depth meaning than you ever had thought about before. Lots of times when we think, well, I experienced that lesson. I've known it now. I can move on. And the same lesson comes back at us. The reality is every lesson that Spirit sends us is multidimensional and multi-layered. So that unless we really look deeply into what we've of a positive nature of what we have gathered from that lesson, the lesson will come back for us to go back and say, oh, I missed that. I think that February is going to be that kind of month for you. March has new foundations, so it does feel you are moving in new directions to move yourself into a different direction as far as your pathway goes. Not a huge change, but definitely a change towards a more spiritual aspect of it. Bren, there's just so much spiritual stuff here. Look into the possibility of getting ordained into a spiritual group. The only one that I can highly recommend is the priesthood of Melchizedek. And that site, I think, is on my website. And if it's not, get a hold of me and I'll put you in touch with the man who does the ordinations. His name is Chesbro. And I don't want you to be in a group. I want you to understand that your spirituality is unique unto you. And the minute you step into a group, you have to then comply with what that group is telling you. Priesthood of Melchizedek, ordained after the priesthood of Melchizedek, is the kind of organization that ordains you, and you get all the certificates you need. You can marry and bury, but it doesn't require you to do anything according to their standards or their dictates. It's a cool place. I was ordained there because I'm feeling this strong sense of moving in new directions on a spiritual level. And I'm not saying you become a minister. I'm saying that going through and getting ordained opens portals to you on a spiritual level, which is really kind of fabulous. As you hit the April timeframe, here's where you're working harder than ever. It feels like you've got more than one job, but it feels like you're also attracting new people to you so that there's a new group, a new element of people coming into your frame of reference here. March was new foundations, spiritual stuff. April has you with new groups, but lots of new groups. So, and if you're in a study group of some sort, great. If you do science of mind, great. If there are lots of places where you can study on a more spiritual level without getting hooked into their dictates. Science of mind is great stuff. As you hit the May timeframe, here's where it feels as though you kind of are coming out of the shadows, so to speak. People are paying attention to what you're saying and how you're saying it, and recognizing the compassion, the compassion and the insight and the love that you have to share. And it does feel as though, people are. You're getting calls that you haven't gotten before. You're getting people paying greater attention to you. It's really a kind of exciting time. As you hit June, again, unity of focus here. The element of unity is here. The word unity is here. So just take that word and see where it fits into your life in the June timeframe, because what you're doing is you're pulling a lot of the different parts of yourself together to create a stronger, more focused whole that attracts people. And you are a giving, sharing person. There's no doubt about it. But just the word unity. I don't usually get just a word, but for the month of June, all I see here is unity. And then in July, you have the element of spiritual energies flowing through you and around you that will help you to magnify what you have inside, which will attract new people to you. It's really cool. You're going to find a lot of unique and unusual people being drawn to you, which is really kind of fun. Some of them are very unique, very, and you have to be discerning in the month of July, where you put your energy and where and how you share it. In August, you have the element here of new work, new directions, new growth. It feels as though you're really. It feels like you're changing, moving towards changing, a shift in your profession. And as you get into the month of September, you've got Phoenix rising energy here that's reborn out of the ashes of the old. That really means major changes next September. Hope that helps, Brent. Keep me posted.
Okay. Very good. So let's see here. We got a couple of comments. Adam. Adam said, very grateful. And he said, yeah, you were a guest on his show.
Okay.
From the podcast show page on the website. Yeah. That's right. I knew I saw it somewhere. All right. Next up is Nancy Ray. And Nancy says, or asks, what was the meaning of my out-of-body and spiritual experiences since I was a teenager? Thank you.
Okay. Well, it means that you have open portals within yourself. It means that being able to go out of body is a very exciting thing. The important thing is that you use it wisely, and I don't know if you had any control over it, but it would seem to me at this particular when you were a teenager, you didn't have control over it. Now you most probably do. And having control over an opening of a portal of spiritual energy like that is a very exciting thing. It means in past lives you've had that portal open. In past lives you've had the training to be able to use it to guide you to learn and to grow from. And it's another level of spirituality, and it all depends. I would think as a teenager, you probably were just pulled out of body and probably a little scared by it. Everyone has had everyone has had that out of body experience, being in bed and suddenly feel like you were falling and you weren't. That's an out of body experience. But what you've got is quite exciting. Now it's a matter of taking those spiritual experiences and helping them to give you direction as to where next you want to take things. It seems to me that they should be opening you up to directions that are appropriate for you and where your spirit wants you to go. I would hope you're journaling them. I would hope that you're writing down what you're seeing and where you're going and what you're seeing when you're going somewhere. It feels to me as though they easily could lead to the writing of a book at some point in time. But it's important that you understand that this is a gift. This is a talent. And if you use it appropriately, it can not only enhance you, but everybody around you. There are ways that you can determine where you're going to go and how you're going to get there. And I just don't know how much training you've had, but it seems to me that getting a good spiritual foundation to work from would enhance how you can help yourself and help other people. Out of body experiences are tons of fun. They aren't meant to scare you. It's a natural gift and talent that all of us have, but it's a matter of getting spiritually awakened to the point that we can open and embrace this particular gift. Clearly, you had it at least in 2 past lifetimes where you were a sage, you were a mystic, you did this naturally for other people. And at least at one time you were in Portugal, another time you were in China, and in both those lifetimes, you used this talent, this gift, to help other people understand what was going on in their life and where they were going. I would say that this lifetime, it's really important for you to get some fundamental background training and whatever. And if you want, give me a call or contacted me at my email, barbaradulong.com, and I'll see if I can help you figure out what to do with it. Okie doke.
Okay. Let's see. We got Bryn said, thank you so much. I'm going to share that with you. And next up is Ms. Honorina. One iron knot. I know that this happened to me once before. She's been here before.
Yeah.
I don't think I pronounced it properly. Hi, Barbara. How does my financial future look like for the rest of the year? Thank you.
Okay. And just for Greg's sense of whatever, next time you come in, use your first name. I mean, once you've twisted your tongue, it stays twisted.
That would be I'd appreciate that.
One Irano out. Yeah, use your first name next time. Finances, just over the rest of the year. For the rest of the year. Well, it does feel here as though, okay. It does feel as though it's going to, first of all, it does feel as though it's in flux. That it's kind of like, I see a bowl of jelly. Kind of looks like it's going in lots of different directions. I would say that as you get into the October timeframe, there are going to be new places that will come into play here that will give you a greater stability than you've had in the past. And it does feel as though there's a sense here of taking care of you is more important than giving you stability is more important than making major financial investments between now and the end of the year. After the end of the year, it looks like things are a lot more free for you. But I would say at this point in time that while they appear to be a bowl of jelly, they don't feel like jelly that's falling down, or whatever, or dissipating or melting. So it does feel as though there's stability here, but it's tenuous. And it does feel as though I can tell you for sure, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be okay. But I would not make any huge choices or decisions financially until after the end of the year, because it does feel here as though a lot of changes are going to be happening within your life and within society as a whole. So it's not till the first of the year where things are clear, where you can make speculative choices that will be beneficial to you. After the first of the year, you're golden. Especially in the month of February. You didn't ask for next year, but especially in the month of February, you're golden. And it does feel as though after that, everything does open up for you. Just don't be greedy. If something looks too good to be true, it is too good to be true. And especially between now and the end of the year, oh please, you're going to be fine, but don't make any major changes. Okay?
All right. Next up is Pamela. Let me turn that off. Pamela J. And Pamela said, Did I have a spirit visit me today and play with my lights? If yes, can you tell me who this might be? Wow.
Okay. Oh, you don't need the cards for this. I don't think it was the spirit. I think it's your energy. It feels as though your energy is very active, I guess is the best way to put it. You are exuding, if I touch into your energetic field, there's a lot of static electricity. I guess I want to, I kind of feel like there's static electricity is what I'm feeling. And I feel that that's what played with your lights. You're going to find it's going to drain batteries. You're going to find it's going to play with your lights. You're at a place where there's a lot going on spiritually inside of you, and that energy doesn't have an outlet, and so it's taking outlets like this. As I would get a creative project of some sort above and beyond what you're doing now, because once you have a creative project above and beyond what you're doing now, it will drain that energy. It will take that energy and put it into creativity, and you won't have this kind of activity. Yeah, no, it wasn't a spirit. It was your own energy. So all you have to do is find a way to drain it off, to dissipate it. Just do stuff creative. Paint, draw, garden, paint, cook, write a book, whatever. But that's yeah, it wasn't a spirit.
Okay. All right, let's see. We got a few comments. Nancy says, it doesn't happen to me that often, but now I'm getting many synchronicities now. So.
Write them down, Nancy. The more you write them down, the more they begin to have a meaning, and the more they open that channel to the spirit that you've got within you. And the more you open that channel, the more insight you get and understand what's going on. Synchronicities are great. They're wonderful. I love them. And the more that you do that, the more you will have a deeper understanding of how to use the energies and how to impact your reality with them.
Okay. And then she said, sorry for the long name. It's O near or not is the pronunciation. Means lucid dreamer. Thank you for the reading. Okay.
Remember that, Gregg. Write that down.
Yeah, take a screenshot. Okay. All right. And then Pamela said thank you too. And next up is Pat Healy. Now, Pat said, I would love a reading. And then this is going to cover the whole screen, this next question. So we can only see the top of your head right now, but let's read this. Dear Barbara, do you see me leaving my apartment in the city? Very negative energy. I'm hoping for a relationship after 49 years. I've missed so much hoping for final relationship. Live in nature, financial security, and regained health and another dog. I know it may be a while, but just to know it's ahead will help me so much. Thank you. Blessings. I'll leave that up for a minute and then I'll take it down.
Okay. Well, definitely you've got another dog coming, and the dog will pick you. So you need to have a dog. You need an emotional support animal. No doubt about that. Okay, relationship. Well, I don't usually do relationship stuff, but yeah, you have one coming. Matter of fact, you have two coming, possibly more. Okay, wait, relationship. All right. Our first relationship is to ourselves. And you've worked on yourself a lot. It shows. It's here. I feel strongly that because you have such strong energy, spiritually speaking, finding there is a sense of, I mean, it's wonderful being this spiritual. It's wonderful having this kind of energy. But I'm not feeling that that's going to be the case once we hit the new year. I think you have to understand that you have created a powerful, sensitive, wonderful, energetic field around you that has repelled a lot of inappropriate people. So you've dodged some great bullets, which is really terrific. I feel strongly that what you have to offer is very, very special, and it will draw special people to you. Absolutely. I'm not sure what it is you really want, and I don't think you do either. Just saying relationship is not really being that specific. There is definitely love coming your way. There is definitely abundance coming your way as far as relationship and passion and love. But you have so much more inside of you that it's not just that. And the reality for what I'm seeing here is, had you been given the kind of relationship that now you know you want, you wouldn't have done a lot of the stuff that you've already done. You would have melted into the other person, and you would have stopped being the person that you actually are. You're at a place in time where a relationship with someone else has to be someone with the same kind of intensity as you have, and both of you have to make sure that you keep that fire lit, because that's what will attract you to each other. And both of you, and there may be 2 or 3 persons coming in here, you have to understand that so long as you keep your fire burning, the attraction to the other person is there. The minute you stop creating that fire inside of yourself, you put out the fire, and they're no longer attracted. So it's a matter of having to keep making sure you keep a balance within yourself on the projects you want to do, on the spiritual things that you want to manifest and become a part of. You're the kind of person that will give up everything for the other person, and you can't do that. You just can't do that. And that's why you haven't had the kind of relationship you're looking for. It's a very hard thing to be as strong and as spiritual as you are. It can from time to time be lonely, but at the same time, if there's another person there that's draining you, you aren't going to be achieving the things that you have promised yourself that you would do and become involved in and be a part of this lifetime. So you have to understand that you have a great deal to pour into a relationship, but unless there's a balance between that and the creative things that you're doing in your life for your life, if the balance isn't there, it'll go away. And it does feel as though there are some very seriously minded people coming your way. I'd get the dog first. Dog first, absolutely. The dog, you need an emotional support animal. I've got one someplace. I do believe that spiritual people really should have an emotional support animal, because dogs and cats will listen to you no matter what. People, maybe not so much. But you've got a beautiful energy, and you have a lot to share with other people. And don't go looking. It will definitely find you. If you go looking, you might be not there when the doorbell rings. So continue what you're doing. Continue to be the same spiritual person you are, because I feel there is great balance here and great strength and great gifts. And continue being the giving person that you are. It will draw people to you. Be discerning and understand that there has to be a balance, and you can't stop what you're doing now. You have to keep doing it. But yeah, after the first of the year, there are at least 2, possibly 3 people coming in. Be discerning. And let us know. It's always nice to know when things, evolve. It does feel it's within the first 3 months of the year that at least the first person will show up. But be cautious and let things happen slowly. If it happens too fast, it'll burn out. There you go.
All right, there we go. And we're all caught up.
Okay.
So
So then we're going to say thank you for being here, everybody.
there we go.
And, I should have put it out on Facebook. I forgot to. So, but we got who we were supposed to. And it was a pleasure to talk to all of you and share your energy. And the next time Ms. O calls, that's what we're going to call her, is Ms. O. We'll know who we're talking to.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
great.
you. Thank you, Greg. And we'll see all of you 2 weeks into October. Hang in there, everybody.